She was very solitary and stayed by herself. She's showing me scratches on her body up here from being slammed against the wall and raped. Stay there. It's not safe. Said it just wasn't safe for women here at all.
Okay guys, so we have arrived at Donegal Castle.
So excited!
So this is a dream location for Rhonda to visit. She has a beautiful photograph of the kitchens in her own home.
I do.
And she's always wanted to see this place. So we're just parked the car and we're gonna go in and have a look at this incredible castle. Okay guys, so Rhonda, even before we have stepped into the castle, which is right behind us, she can feel some energy coming through.
Oh yeah.
So tell us.
Okay, so I would have to say that right now, I kind of feel, I can feel the energy of when I say energy, I mean like spirits, people in the castle right now who just don't have a body. And it's almost like they know I'm here and they're saying, ooh, I can't wait to get here. I have things to tell you. I want to tell you my life story. Kind of like in the other experiences I had at Bactive Abbey.
Bactive Abbey, yes.
And a couple of the other places. Like I've seen so many abbeys and different, Laura Castle. Whew, you know, I mean, that energy is coming through really strong right now. And it just feels like these people want to be heard. They want to tell their own story. They might not be people that have been documented in history, but they were people who lived a very significant life to their own experience. And I think that they want to share their real stories, because there's so many people who you know, do paranormal investigations, and there's a lot of mediums and psychics that go to places and they're like, oh, I feel energy, it's very dark, it's attaching itself to me. In my gift, the way I communicate with spirit, they are just as real as you and I. Even if they lived a terrible life and they were not good people, or they were, you know, whatever they did, you're just feeling their energy. It's nothing more than you feeling their presence. And it's almost like when you put your hand into an ice cold bucket of water with cold ice, that shock feeling, it's a strong sensation, but it's not going to hurt you. And if you just adjust yourself and realize, oh, it's just a realization of a new frequency that I ordinarily do not feel. And don't feel like an evil spirit is following you home and you have to get something done to get it away from you, or clear your house, or bad things are happening. Spirit's just trying to let you know it's there. It's just trying to let you know it's there. And in most cases, for most people, what they're experiencing really is their grandmother, their aunt, their uncle, their sister, their child, whoever, saying they moved the glass, or it fell over, or they knocked a picture off the wall to say, oh my gosh, I used all my energy to do that, to let them know I'm here. And then you may have been thinking of them for the past couple of days, and then they did that. It's not an evil spirit in your house. It's them trying to connect with you and touch you and let you know I'm here. So in this place, because of my ability, the way I can connect with spirit, they find out that I can actually hear them and I'm not afraid of them, because they're just people without a body. They're able to tell their real story. And so when I go in a castle, after we left Bactive Abbey, we had two lovely people come through that I could feel their energy there, but they were very quiet there. And I wasn't able to communicate with them there. They were just kind of taking me in, watching me, because I'm sure they're used to people. Actually, you know, where people can be very offensive to them, because they're people. We don't want to offend them. We be respectful to them and their life, their journey, their experience. And so when we left, a lovely sweetheart, you know, an angel came through, Mary. Her name is Mary. And
Wild Mary.
Yeah, and she's like come through quite a few times and even interrupted some communication I was having with my dad, and kind of stepped in there, and I'm like, wait, what's going on? Why is this weird? And I'm like, Mary, is that you? And she's like, yes. Yeah. And she's just happy to have somebody talk to her and recognize her and give her a voice. And so really, honestly, what I feel is happening right now is Like I can feel, but they're actually crowding out here. I can feel them. There's a lot of people out here, and they're crowding around, and they're from different eras and different genres, different circas. And they're crowding in ready to connect with me because they're like, I want to say who I am. I want to say what I did. I want to say, there is a little boy out there and he's got buckets of water. So he's standing out there. There's an older gentleman with a very nice coat with buttons. I think he might actually be a butler because he looks fancy, but I don't think he's a nobleman or anything. And he's happy and excited. There's a lot of people out here. So I think they just are excited to be able to pipe in and tell me their stories. And so I'm really, really excited. I can't wait to get in. And I will do a plug for Dan McGeorge in, I first found out about this very gifted photographer in, he has a gallery in Coronado, Coronado, California, in San Diego, California. It's Coronado Island. And he has a gorgeous gallery. And there was just something that spoke to me. I probably bought this beautiful, beautiful gallery photo, framed, gorgeous, like nearly a decade ago. And there was something that just called out to me. And I didn't know where it was. I didn't know anything about it, but I just knew there was energy there and I needed to go. I actually got to speak with the artist, and he told me that was at Castle Donegal. Am I saying it right?
Yeah, Donegal, yeah.
Donegal, okay. That was at Castle Donegal. And I knew with all of my heart that I would have to make this pilgrimage here so that I could connect with the energy and the beautiful people who have passed away and hear their stories. So I am very excited, and I can't wait to share with you everything they share with me. Hanging tree, right there.
This tree here is a hanging tree.
The one nearest to us.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and he's telling me right now, the little boy, he's got 2 wooden buckets, and they're like little planks that are ribbed together to make his buckets. He's holding, they're like rope handles, and he said, he goes, miss, that's the hanging tree. And he says that they would hang people there, and then they would cut the line and toss them in the water, and they would flow down the river.
Wow. Look at this place.
Did this ever catch on fire?
It's very possible.
I feel flames. I feel a lot of heat right now. Like hot heat. Yeah, there's definitely, I feel like there's a huge fire.
Look at them. Kind of turrets jutting out.
Yes, they are.
They're amazing. And the caravans here. Just wow. Isn't that incredible?
This was not a great place. This is not.
No?
No, the energy here it's very ominous. It's not pleasant.
Okay. I can see it in your eyes.
Very oppressed and like, I mean, there's tortures here.
Torture.
Yeah, it was bad.
Okay. Well, let's go in and have a look, guys. It is so beautifully stunning. Wow. Oh my God. Wow. How amazing.
I've got an older gentleman right now. He worked for the he's saying Lord, but he's saying it in a different way. Like the Lord of the Castle is saying the laird.
Laird of the castle.
Okay. And he's not from here. He said he's from further north, like up in Scotland area. And he is here. He worked here, and he was like his job was to trap rabbits, and he kept traps all over to bring in food, and that was his job. And he has a very thick Scottish accent.
Oh wow.
Very, very, very thick. His name's Michael.
Michael. Hello, Michael.
He's a small man, very wiry and strong, and he actually, wow. Okay, so he's showing me himself. He would climb trees and just sit in the tree, and okay, so he's very proud of the way that he caught animals, because he didn't, he said that his meat was, the meat that he brought in was fresher and sweeter because he would coax it in and capture it and then kill it.
Okay.
And he would like, he said, he's showing me, he would sit in a tree and jump on a doe. Like he would jump on the doe and hold her and then coax her down. It was almost like he was whispering to her, calming her down. And then he would tell her thank you. And he said, so he says, he would thank her for her. And the meat was sweeter. They always said the meat was sweeter from him.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we've just literally walked into the first room of the castle. It's like a vaulted ceiling, almost like kind of like a cellar. There is historical kind of replicas here of like old barrels. I'm not sure if they're original, but it's just incredible. Like we can just walk around this castle freely. There's no kind of tour guide, which I really appreciate, because sometimes tour guides, you can't really be yourself. But it's just beautiful. So let me see. The ground floor level storerooms. So these were storerooms, which would make sense to what you were saying, Rhonda, that this is where he would have brought his kill.
Yeah, he laid them out. He's showing me a table. He had them all laid out, and he would talk to them. He'd say, "There you are, my beauties." He'd call them my beauties. And they're laid down. And even after they were dead, he would pet them and say thank you. And he had so much respect for life.
Wow.
Yeah. And he always said, he goes,
amazing.
"I never took a life. They always gave it."
They gave the life.
He said, "They gave it. I never took it."
Wow. So he's a proud hunter.
He is, and he's honorable.
Honorable.
He had a lot of respect in his hunt.
So yeah, the ground floor stores in Donegal Castle.
Wow, thank you, Michael.
The amount of energy here, and I am not a medium in any way, shape, or form, but I can feel it in my chest.
Yeah,
it's overwhelming
he's
how many
here.
is here, I think.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's in that video that I took, he jumped right across the screen. I'll show you. Let's see here. Let me get over here the first. Over here. So he'd be right here in the very beginning. Well, wait a minute. That's when I.
Oh, there he is. Wow.
Yeah, that's Michael. He said, I almost said little Michael. He said, "Don't call me little. I'm strong." He says, "I'm mighty." He says, "I'm mighty." Yeah,
Oh,
you
wow.
can see him go right across here. He was quite large when he came across, didn't he?
Let's see that
Let's come back
again.
over here. Go to the beginning of this. There we go. There, that's where he was. There he goes.
Okay, guys, I think Rhonda is picking up on something. So let's go see what she has to say. You feeling something, Rhonda?
Oh, yeah. There's a woman, like, she's very afraid, and I mean, she was I would say she was a noble woman. She was beautiful, and you could tell well dressed, and she's very afraid. She said that this would be in the early stages. It'd be like the 1400s. I don't know how old this part of the castle is, but this is like 1400s, what she's telling me.
Okay.
And she said it just wasn't safe for women here at all. And she's showing me on her body scratches, like, of being pushed and shoved against. She's being shoved. She's telling me to feel how rough this is. She said that was on my naked skin. And then she said across here, she's showing me scratches on her body up here from being slammed against the wall and raped. And she's a noble woman here.
Wow.
Yeah. And she just has this anxiety in her chest.
Do you have any name with her?
Sarah.
Sarah.
There's another name. I want to say Jane.
Sarah Jane?
Yeah. I need to turn that on. Yeah, Sarah Jane.
My goodness.
Yeah, she said that was not the first time. And she said, she just ended up just staying in her room. She just ended up never leaving her room. And they would just bring her food. She'd stayed in the room, and she really, really, really misses the time when she could just wander as a child and a young girl. She would be able to wander through like the woods and be in nature. She misses being in nature. So
and how did these...
she has a person who helped her. Her name was Nettie.
It would lady in waiting, probably.
Okay, well,
that type of character.
She called her Nettie, and she said she would always bring nature into her.
Okay.
And so she would bring in flowers and plants and tear them and just have them in the room.
So what do you see when a spirit comes to you and they want to talk to you? Do you just get an image in your mind of how she would look, or
oh yeah,
an impression of she's a female?
Oh no, she's like, she comes to me just as clear as day as you. It's just I can see through her.
Okay.
So she's actually standing right here next to you. She's right here.
Hello, Sarah.
Yeah, she's right here. Lady, you want to call her Lady?
Lady Sarah.
Yeah,
sorry, Lady
definitely
Sarah.
Call her Lady Sarah.
Milady.
Yes. Well, she said don't call her Milady.
Oh.
She said just say
Lady
Sarah, because she said you don't have the right to call her Milady.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, I'm sorry, Sarah. Or Lady Sarah. Oh my God, I'm going to get killed by the ghost.
No, you're not. She's a lovely lady. She's a lovely lady.
Okay.
But she's no, she's standing right here. So basically, I can see her. She's this tall. She's this tall. She's kind of thin. She's very beautiful. She has brown eyes and like a reddish brown hair. It's definitely like an auburn, not quite that dark, but in the sun it would just really come on fire. She I'm asking her if she ever had any children. She does. She had a boy and a girl. William. She had them close together. They're little kids running around, and they were wild and free, she says. She just keeps showing me the hallway, the corridor where she said where he took me. She said when she says took her, raped her. That's what she meant. But she's saying where he took me. And she said he was hairy, and she's showing me him, and he just was grizzly and had like spaces between his teeth, and he was very strong and burly, and like she's showing me the whole thing right there. It's very graphic, but and she said like when she first came, I just felt like crying, but I didn't know why, and then now she showed me that. But She says, yeah, find the roughest stone. She goes, when you touch these stones, they're rough. She goes, can you imagine how rough they were when I was here? When they were first hewn, she said. When they were first hewn, they were very rough.
So you think we should head up and maybe try and find this area where...
Well, we can't go to her area. She
Okay.
said there's no floor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's up high. And she would look down.
Well, thank you, Lady Sarah. Okay. I suppose we go upstairs?
Yeah, let's do it. You lead the way.
Okay.
Ooh, spirit is strong here. Very strong. I'll let you go all the way up.
Some fireplaces.
She's warning us that as we climb the stairs, we need to use our hands to hang on. She didn't like you going up and not holding onto a rail. She said there are malicious energies that contribute.
Okay, okay.
So I'm just holding on. Also, she said these would be much lower. She said it was almost, she said they're about down, this wasn't that big, but it was down here. And she said it was over here. Really much shorter. Wow, look at that.
It's a little fireplace.
Yes, it is.
And look, that's how the ceiling would have looked, I'm guessing. Wooden.
Yeah.
They would have had to restore it very carefully.
She's showing me twigs and stuff underneath the,
Oh.
in between. There's like little twigs, and she said that birds would even nest in there, and they liked it. They felt it was good luck. And actually, I can hear doves. Coo, coo. You know, the warbling
yes.
kind of. I can hear them. So they would be in here. Oh, they would collect their eggs.
Right.
I didn't know that was a thing. The children played in here, in this area. I can hear them in here.
You can hear children playing.
They're laughing. Her two children, the little boy's William. She won't tell me the little girl's name yet. Maybe she'll come through. But she said they were just best friends, inseparable. I believe they were twins because their head heights are very, very, very nearly the same.
Okay, well, I'm gonna hold on to the railing, guys, because the railings they're actually wet. They're wet and condensation, I think.
Definitely take a picture of that, because that would have been a fine example of how those were used with the support.
Yes.
That's a great example.
So we would have seen these in castles all over Ireland, guys, where, you know, in my videos I always explain would have been a roof or a floor. It's very interesting to see it
It is.
in it working, like.
You can see, you know, like right there, this is jutting out, just a piece of stone jutting out from the structure, and then it's acting as a brace for this board. Amazing. And you know what's crazy? Even with all the weight of the whole ceiling and roof on this board, it's still swelling up.
Yeah.
It's still swelling, even with the weight of all this on it. That just shows the
strength,
the moisture and humidity of it for it to still swell, even with all the weight on it.
Wow. Okay, let's go in here and have a look. Oh my goodness. Wait till you see this fireplace. Oh wow. Yeah.
It's pristine.
It's beautiful.
And so these are rosettes.
Yeah.
And would they have been represented of Of England, or would they be
It could,
representation
no, these are clans people.
of the Rose?
Maybe in the 1600s this could have been built, because it
Because it
isn't
looks
such
so much newer. It's so
Yeah.
nice.
Let's find out actually.
There's a coat of arms right there.
It symbolizes the English crown,
I knew it was English. Somebody
Yeah.
was telling me it was English.
and near the base is Scottish thistle, emblem of King James.
Okay.
So let me try and find them for you guys. Some Scottish thistle. I don't really know what I'm looking for, but maybe this is it. Maybe that. Whoa. I've never been to a castle like this anyway. Look at this table.
Okay. She's telling me she didn't hardly ever experience or live in this room. And she said up in here there was a stone that she could take out, and there was stuff in there. She would get notes from someone, which doesn't make any sense. I'm thinking it's a fireplace, but she said no. There was stuff hidden back there. Maybe even a key, actually. I don't know. Couldn't be notes. It would catch on fire. How could it be notes? Maybe during the time of year. I don't know,
Could
but they
have been.
cooked in here. They would cook. This was cooking. And fire for warmth. It was like a great room. And there was things, all over the floor. But there was a lot of noise, talking and like, I don't want to say carousing, because not really carousing, but it was just active, very active, like a huge family room.
Okay.
But she says, I didn't partake of any of that, she said. She stayed in her room.
Wow.
Something, I want to say, she says notes, but I don't think it was notes. Okay, she's showing me right now. There was love notes being left to her. I kept saying that couldn't happen, that it would burn up. And she said, no, it was love notes. And I said, well, what do you mean, how? And so now she just showed me one of the stones would come out Nettie, because she never came down here.
Okay.
She didn't mingle or anything. She was very solitary and stayed by herself after that scarring she has on her front chest. And she said Nettie would come down, and she had a sweetheart that she loved her whole life. She said his name was Brian. And he left her. They had a secret code of communication of when to meet, and she said we would meet under the moonlight, and so only on well-lit nights. But when they'd have a full moon with more light or enough light in there, he would leave her 2 stones to go meet him they had a tree that they had, okay? And if it was 3, he said, stay, don't go. Stay there, it's not safe. 2, because of them 2 together. And she would go meet him. But there was always 2 stones or 3, 2 or 3. That was their,
Wow.
that was their communication. And it was she said that that ledge went in deeper on the side, and it was within reach because Nettie wasn't very tall. Nettie was really little, she was like 3.5 feet high. She was very, very small.
Okay.
And so she'd go in there. It was within ability for her to grasp it and tell her.
Spectacular. Beautiful. Yeah.
Wow. This is amazing. This is like one of the nicest spirals I've been on so far. The lavatory.
Yeah, so guys, this is the garderobe, a medieval toilet, where you can
Oh,
see
got it. Yeah.
where they did their business.
Mother Nature.
Yes. Nice. There was a small room containing a wooden seat with a hole in it. Waste would fall down a chute built into the castle wall and into the pit into the ground below. This would have been very smelly.
Oh, no.
To me, this looks like a musket loop
Okay.
from the 1600s. You can see, if I can bring you guys up a bit further, we might be able to zoom in and pick up where it's pointing to. So it's pointing at the walls. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Rhonda, picking up anything?
Flies.
Flies? Smell.
I'm just joking.
You don't think people stay
I don't
here?
think people stay here. I don't feel anything in here.
In and out, in and out.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think that makes a lot of sense. I ain't gonna stay and smell people's poop all day. Look at this door. Like the doors in Lacking Castle, this is what would have been
It
there.
would have been.
Yeah. Staircase is just magnificent.
It really, 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 really is.
It is a really nice trip staircase. Okay, we're back on the ground floor again.
Original doorway, right here.
Yes, this was the original doorway. I wonder is this locked? Yeah. Whoa.
So much.
They never see the two of us together on video.
But they need to. That's how we see everything.
Oh my goodness, we have a doggy. We have a doggy walking around the castle.
Where Michael.
This is the room where Michael
This
was.
is where Michael he came through.
And have you seen the kitchen room yet? Did you have in your photo?
That's where
I don't know where it is.
I don't either, but I kind of feel like maybe it could have been in here, to be honest with you. I feel
It
like
could
from
have
the
been.
photograph that I had, I feel like it was over here that he took the image.
Yes,
It may not have been actually the kitchen. He might have called it the kitchen, but
I understand.
I think this is where that image is. Like, this is incredible because look how high this is here. This is
That looks like from a ship. I think that's from a ship.
No, I mean this here.
Oh, yes,
Like,
yes.
this is floor. That's a flooring or
Yeah.
countertop, or I mean,
Yeah.
that's strong. So it'd have to be floor. Like, why would they need it to be that strong? And look here. This is level with that right there.
Yes.
So that's.
There was something.
This is the floor level. I think floor level was about right here, actually.
Yeah.
And then things dipped down a little or something. Originally, it must have been higher.
Yeah.
And then I bet you, after time went by, they took these floors out. People started getting bigger as time went on. You know, we grew bigger.
I have to say, guys, that this is one of the most incredible castles I've ever visited. And personally, for me, it is just... I think we're going to go up the spiral staircase one more time.
Yeah, let's do that.
And it's just incredible how well preserved this castle is. In Tipperary, there is preserved castles, but this one, the fireplace, I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen an intact garderobe. For me, it's very exciting because, especially to show Rhonda around places like this, it makes me proud to be Irish. But also, me personally, you know how much I love history and old buildings. And I think this place, it's just spectacular. I'd move in tomorrow. I would live here in a heartbeat. I'm sure there is dark energy here, as Rhonda stated. And if we were here overnight, can you imagine what would come true? Yeah. But you know, this video in particular, I'm not getting out any gadgets. I'm not going to do any of that stuff because it's about talking to spirit. And I'm so lucky enough to have Rhonda. Okay.
I'm lucky enough to have my friends that come through. They
I'm
really
so
are
lucky.
my friends. They're my friends. And even when we were communicating with me, you know, she said friend. So it's
just, for me, it's been a dream of mine to walk around these locations with a medium. And that's something I've always wanted for my channel in particular. If I could wipe the slate clean and I had Rhonda with me all the time, it would literally just be me and Rhonda exploring these
I would do
beautiful places and what she's picking up.
This just makes my heart beat.
It's like TV shows that I watched when the medium comes on. That's when I focus and that's when I really pay attention. And when the paranormal stuff happens, it's amazing. But
well, paranormal stuff is always happening.
it's always happening.
It's just that sometimes they don't. Sometimes I'm not able to build up enough strength to show themselves. And I think when, like when Michael showed himself down below, he's here and has visitors come through all the time, but he sensed a friend coming in me. Yes. And I think that gave him the strength to channel through me to materialize through the camera where he showed himself. And that was not an orb. That was a very large energy coming through, which gave him the strength, I think, to make him to say hello, because he knew he had a friend.
Yeah. People.
Then Annie, she's warning to be careful, and she does keep telling me that word. She's spelling it to me. I don't know what it means. B-A-I-R-D, and I think there's an E. Baird.
If I find out any information on that, guys, I will definitely pop it up on
I
the
don't know what it
screen.
means, but she keeps spelling it out to me, showing me. I think it has to do with the man who's very, dark hair.
Amazing.
Very incredible.
Amazing. I love it. So beautiful, guys. Just so beautiful. I love it. Okay, Rhonda. Okay, so when Rhonda starts doing this, guys, I know it's time to get my ass in order. Ooh, mushy. Very mushy. Right there? Okay.
His name was Pod. The little boy's Pod.
Pod? Short for Podrick, maybe.
Okay. And he says, there it is. He said, there it is, miss. That's the tree, right here.
He's really... Do you think he knew someone who got hung?
He watched people.
He watched?
Well,
that was part of tradition.
He watched it, and he always stayed away and watched from a distance. But he was the water boy. And he would carry back and forth. I think it's P-O-G.
P-O-G.
He called himself Pog.
Yeah,
him Pog.
Okay.
And he says, yes, miss, that's where it was. And they would just slice him down. And I said, wouldn't they save the rope? I mean, they have to keep making rope. He goes, no, they left it around their neck to make sure people knew that they died from hanging.
Wow.
Otherwise, it could have just been a dead body flowing in the river. And it would let people downstream know, hey, this is what happens.
Go Pog. Thank you, Pog. Oh, that little robin just flew in front of me. Wow. So I was just getting some shots, guys, and a little robin just flew right in front of me. There he is. Hello, little guy. Can I get you on camera? Look at him. Are you watching us?